Hello, welcome to next session. In this session, we will solve XC thermodynamic paper of year GATE 2007. Okay. So, in the beginning of the question paper, some useful data are given. That is universal gas constant RU is equal to 8.314 kg per kilogram per kilovolt per second. Okay. And some properties from the steam paper. Water is given in saturated state and in supercritical state. Okay. So these data we will use in different questions asked in the paper. Okay. So question 1 to question 6 carry 1 mark each. Question 1. The specific gravity of ice at 0 degree Celsius is option A greater than unity, B less than unity, C equal to unity, D cannot say insufficient information. Okay. Uh, at 0 degree Celsius, at 0 degree Celsius, no data is given. Okay. So, but at 0 degree Celsius, the density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube and density of ice is 900 kilogram per meter cube. Okay. So, density of ice is less than the density of water. Okay. So, specific gravity of ice is 0.9. Okay. So, it is less than unity. So, answer is B. Okay. Which one of the following equations is correct? Equation is correct. Okay. Option A, V 1 minus x Vf plus x Vg. Okay. B V is equal to Vf plus Vg. C V x Vf 1 plus 1 minus x Vg. Okay. And D V x Vf plus Vg. Where Vf is the volume of fluid or saturated liquid and Vg is the specific volume of the saturated vapor. Okay. Okay. So we know that the volume V is the volume or specific volume at a the intersection X. Okay. So option is answer A. Okay. How? We know that the Vf is equal to or V at any the intersection is equal to Vf plus X Vg minus Vf. So it can be in modified form. It can be written as 1 minus x Vf plus x Vg. So answer is A. Next question. In ideal vapor compression refrigeration system, the process in the condenser is the heat is uh, added at constant pressure in evaporator and removed at constant pressure in condenser. So answer is C. Next question. 1 kilogram of perfect gas at 15 degrees Celsius and 100 kPa is heated to 45 degrees Celsius by option A constant pressure process, 2 constant volume process, Cp of gas is equal to 1.042 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin, R 0.2968 kilojoule per kilogram per degree Kelvin, heat added in constant pressure Qp and constant volume Qv. Processes are option A Qp is equal to 31.26 kilojoule, Qv 22.35 kilojoule, Qp 22.3 kilojoule, Qv 31.26 kilojoule. C option Qp 31.26 kilojoule and Qv 31.26 kilojoule. D Qp 22.35 kilojoule and Qb 0. Okay. We note that the heat added at constant pressure is Cp T2 minus T1 and heat added at constant volume is Cd T2 minus T1. Okay. So R is given, Cp is given. We know that R is equal to Cp minus Cv. And from this Cv can be calculated. So Cv comes out as 0.7452 and Cp is 1.042 and T1 and T2 are uh, 45 and 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, so from this we can calculate QP and QV. So answer is option E. Okay. Next, a system is capable of exchanging energy with its surrounding in the form of n reversible work modes. The number of independent variables that completely specify the state of the system. A n minus 2, B n minus 1, C n, D n plus 1. So as there are n reversible work modes, okay, so the mass is divided into the mass or any extensive property is divided into n parts to exchange heat to exchange energy with the surrounding. Okay, so these uh, n different masses or n extensive properties should be defined, and these n extensive property and one of the intensive property like pressure or temperature has to be defined. Okay, so the total number of independent variables to specify the state of system is n plus 1, because whenever we draw the diagram, we draw as a PV diagram. V is the extensive property and P is intensive property. Okay, so then the state of the system can be defined by n plus 1 variable. Okay, so because here there are n extensive properties or n processes, so number of variables should be n plus 1. Okay. Next, a system is partitioned in two equal parts. An intensive property of each part will option A become half, B remain unchanged, C double, D depend on the nature of the system. So as it is intensive property, so it will remain unchanged because it doesn't depend upon mass, okay, or the volume. Okay, when it is partition, it is divided into two parts or into two volumes. Okay, so it is the answer is B. Okay. Question 7 to 24 carry 2 marks each. Question 7. The polytropic index of an isochoric process is equal to A0, B1, C minus 1, D infinite. In a general case, PV n is equal to constant. Okay, when n is infinity, then the pressure, the effect of pressure will be very small. Okay, or negligible. So in this we can assume that V is constant. So n is infinite. The answer. Okay. Next, two systems A and B possessing the same internal energy contain saturated liquid vapor mixture of water. Okay, at 1 MPa. The maximum value of the ratio of their masses is A 1.4, B 2.4, C 3.4, D 4.4. As the mixture contains two systems, that A and B, and they contain the mixture of saturated liquid and saturated vapor. So in one of the system there can be only saturated liquid, and in another system there can be only saturated vapor. Okay. So at this case, the in this case the volume of saturated liquid will be minimum, and specific volume will be minimum, and specific volume of saturated vapor will be maximum. Okay. So uh, so and the as the internal energy of the uh, both the system are same. Okay, so and the pressure is given as 1 MPa. Okay, so at 1 MPa UF is equal to from the table. Okay, that given in the beginning. Okay, at 1 MPa or 1000, so at 1 MPa UG is your 2583 and UF is 761.67. Okay, so UG is 761.67 and UG is 2583.64. Okay. Now, if the one of the sample only contains liquid, another sample contains only the vapor, okay, pure vapor, then the ratio of their masses will be maximum. Okay, so from this M1, from this, as internal energy, total energy is same. MF into UF is equal to mg into UG, mg mass of liquid and sorry, MF mass of liquid and mg mass of pure vapor. So MF by mg is equal to 4. So answer is option 4. Next, the net work output for the cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 shown in figure. Figure is given. P is in watt, 4, 3, 2, and B is in meter cube. So 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So option A 200 kilojoules, option B 1200 kilojoules, option C 0, option D 1000 kilojoules. So we can find out the work done in both the cases by their area, and area for 612P is 612P. 3 minus 2 and 2, 3 minus 3 minus 2 and 2 minus 1 multiplied. Okay, so it is 112 Similarly, the area for this P3 5 P is also the same. Okay, that is 1 into 10 to 5. But here we can see that the direction of cycle is the clockwise, and here the direction of cycle is anti-clockwise. So both of this, one of the work will be positive, and another will be negative. So the net work done will be 0. Okay. Next. So answer is C. Steam enters an adiabatic turbine steadily at 450 degrees Celsius and 4 MP and leaves at 50 kPa. The minimum possible dryness fraction of the steam at the turbine exit is approximately A 85%, B 90%, C 95%, D 97%. So steam is entering at 4 MPa, 4 degrees Celsius, that is the entry point, and leaves at 50 kPa in the process for the minimum dryness fraction. Okay, the process will be isentropic. Otherwise, if the process is not isentropic, then it will be this, and the dryness fraction will be more than 2. So for the minimum dryness fraction, the process will be isentropic. And from the table, uh, at 450 we have 4 MPa. Okay, at 450 degrees Celsius. So we had 4 kPa, 4 MPa and 4 degrees Celsius. We can find all the properties. Okay, and note down these properties, and other is 50 kPa and 50 kPa. All the properties are given. Okay, so we can note down these properties and use these. Okay, these properties. Now at point 1, entropy is 6.9352. Okay, and at at point 2, the entropy of saturated liquid is 1.0910, and the Sg minus Sf is this. So X is a direct action at this point. So equating these two, we can find out X. Okay, so X is 0.9. If the process is isentropic, we will use the entropy. Okay. Next, a rigid vessel contains saturated liquid vapor mixture of water at 10 MPa. On being heated, on being heated, the mixture reaches the critical point. The initial quality of the mixture is approximately, okay. The it is given that the pressure is 10 MPa. Okay, so and the mixture is saturated liquid vapor mixture. Okay, so when the mixture is heated, it reaches up to at critical point. Critical point. Okay, so as the vessel is rigid and and it is closed, so volume of the uh, vessel is constant. So vessel is constant, and we are not adding or subtracting any mass from the vessel. Okay, so the mass is also constant. So it means the specific volume remains constant. Okay, so when it reaches that critical point, so the volume is VC. Okay, the critical volume, and uh, when it initially the volume is V minimum. Okay, now the property that 10 MPa can be found from the table given, or the properties of the liquid and vapor mixture can be found from the table given. Okay, so this is the table at 10 MPa. So this is 10 MPa. This is VF and this is VD. Okay, okay, this is VF and this is VD. Now, one thing you have to grant which is not given, then the critical, that is the critical volume of the, that is also given. That is same. This is here you can see that VF and is equal to VG. Okay, so it is the critical volume is also given. Okay, so VC is given, and VF and VG uh, at 10 MPa is also given. Okay, at 10 MPa is given. Uh, okay, at 10 MPa is given. So from this VG minus VF plus VF into X. Okay, here, and here we can put it to the VC. So X is X compared 0.1027, or say 10%, option C. Okay. Next, a diesel engine has a compression ratio of 16, and cutoff takes place at 8% of the stroke. Assuming an air standard cycle, the cutoff ratio is option A 1.2, option B 2.2, option C 3.2, option D 4.2. So this is a diesel engine. The cycle is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is uh, V1 by V2 is the compression ratio, and V3 minus V2 divided by V1 minus V2 is cutoff ratio. Okay, so if we divide it by V2, okay, above and below, V3 by V2 minus 1 divided by V1 minus V2 minus 1 equal to 0.08. Okay, so uh, V3 minus V2 and V1 minus V2 is given, that is compression ratio 16. You can put this value. So from this you can find out V3 minus V2, that is 2.2. So this is the cutoff ratio. Okay, V3 by V2. So this is the cutoff taken at 8% of the stroke. So cutoff ratio is given by, so it should be the condition given. Okay, so cutoff ratio is V3 by V2. So instead answer is B. Okay. Here it is given that cutoff takes place 8% of the stroke. So this is your cutoff, and this is your whole stroke. So this is V3 minus V2 is V 8% of V1 minus V2. Okay. Next question. In a Brayton cycle, if delta T is temperature change during the expansion process, and delta Tc is the change in temperature during compression process. Okay, then option A delta TE minus delta PC greater than 0. Option B delta TE minus delta TC less than 0. Option C delta TE minus delta TC is equal to 0. Option D delta TE minus delta TC fully depends on compression issue. So we have studied in thermodynamics that the pressure lines on TS diagram are diverging in nature. Okay, it means the gap at this initially is less than the gap after the entropy added this month. Okay, so this gap is more than this gap because pressure lines diverging in nature, and this is the compression ratio. Okay, so this difference also depends on compression ratio and the distance and the uh, heat added. Okay, so del T E is minus del Tc is greater than zero. So and it doesn't only depend on compression ratio, it depends on the compression ratio as well as heat added or heat rejected. Okay, so okay, explanation. Especially I read out for you. Constant pressure lines on TS diagram are diverging in nature. So delta TE minus delta TC is greater than zero. Depends on both. Okay, compression ratio and heat rate. Okay, answer is A. Next, a rigid tank is connected through a valve to steam main supplying steam at 1 MPa 400 degrees Celsius. Heat is transferred from the tank to the surrounding and valve is closed. When total amount of cooling is 2000 kilojoules, the energy contained in the tank is same before and after the process. Neglecting potential energy and kinetic energy changes. Mass of the steam that enters the tank is option A 0.676 kg, B 6.67 kg, C 0.612 kg, D 6.12 kg. So that that tank is losing energy. Okay, at losing energy 2000 kilojoules. Okay, okay, and energy is being supplied by a valve by steam that is at 1 MPa 400 Celsius. Okay. So and it is also given that the energy of the tank remains same before and after the process, after supplying and before supplying. Okay. So the from steam table that is given that is given initially, uh, add 1 MPa and 400 degrees Celsius. Add 1 MPa. So this is your 1 MPa and 400 1 MPa and 400 degrees Celsius. So the 6 okay. 400 degrees you can find out H 3263.9. Okay, and add so this is the enthalpy, okay, from table. So this enthalpy is specific enthalpy. This is enthalpy provided by the steam. Okay, so that means the mass of the steam entry. Okay, then this is the total energy supplied is total energy lost that is being lost due to cooling. So equating these two, we can find out mass M is equal to 1612 kg. Option C. Okay. Next, steady heat transfer takes place through a plane wall in outward direction at the rate of 1500 kilojoules. The inner surface temperature of the wall is 27 degrees Celsius. The entropy generation is 0.25 watt per degree Kelvin. The outer surface temperature of the wall is option A 2.7 degrees Celsius, B 5.1 degrees Celsius, C 7.2 degrees Celsius, D 12.7 degrees Celsius. So this is the valve, okay, and heat is being supplied, okay, at the rate 1500 kilojoules, and temperature of this valve is 27 degrees Celsius, okay, and we have to find out the temperature of this valve, okay, entropy generation is 0.25. Okay, so entropy in, okay, plus entropy generated will be entropy out, or we can say entropy out minus entropy in is entropy generated within the surface. Okay, so entropy in is that is heat supplied by temperature. Okay, and this is entropy generation, and this is the temperature is T2, and here 1500 plus T2. So entropy generation will be entropy generation will be entropy generation is given. Okay, 0.25. Okay, and from this we can find out T2. T2 is 285.5714. 12 in what 20 12.7 distance is on side B. Okay, next. Consider an ideal gas in a frictionless piston cylinder assembly. The weightless piston is initially loaded with a large number of small weights. Okay. How would you carry out a reversible isothermal expansion process? Assume that a large number of very small waves and an arrangement of reversible heat transfer are available. Okay. Options are without adding or removing weights on the piston and transfer heat to the system. Option B without adding or removing weights on the piston and transfer heat from the system. C uh, adding weights on the piston and transfer heat to the system, removing weights from the piston and transfer heat to the system. So according to first law, dq is equal to dw plus du. Okay. If we want the process to be isothermal, then dv should be zero. Okay. So dq should be equal to pdv. It means the final volume should be more than initial volume when heat is being supplied. So by removing weight, the volume will increase. Okay, and temperature will remain same by even if we add heat. Okay, so answer is D. Next, consider an isentropic process undergone by an incompressible fluid. The change in temperature experienced by the fluid is delta T, T2 minus T1. Which one of the following is correct? Delta T is 0, delta T is greater than 0, delta T is less than 0, delta T depends on the liquid under consideration. So, for isentropic process, uh, there should be the entropy should be the change in entropy should be 0. It means uh, the process is reversible adiabatic process. Okay, and as the fluid is incompressible. Okay, so the heat added will be given by mc dt. Okay, c is c is in case of water it is 4.2. Okay, and for the incompressible fluid cp c is equal to cp plus cv and cv is equal to cp and equal to cv. Okay, so for the isentropic process, okay, for the isentropic process, uh, for the isentropic process, for the reversible adiabatic process, okay, for incompressible fluid, the heat added should be 0, and heat added is mc dt. Okay, so dt m and c are constant, so that is 0. So answer is A. Okay, next. In the following PP diagram, an inversion curve is shown. Okay. Which of the following is correct? So this is the inversion curve. Okay, and this is T and this is P. Okay. Options are A region 1 cooling, region 2 cooling. Okay. B region 1 heating, region 2 cooling. C region 1 cooling, region 2 heating, and D region 1 heating and 2 region to VT. Okay. So this is the inversion curve. Okay. The inversion curve is defined by having zero Thomson Joule Thomson coefficient. Okay, which is also defined as del P by del P. Okay. Okay, so at the inversion curve, it mu is zero, and on the left side it is positive, and on the right side it is negative. It means when the throttling is performed, or in throttling, the pressure is decreased and enthalpy remains constant. So when the throttling is performed, the if the pressure is decreased, the temperature will also decrease. So this will be the cooling region, because here the pressure is decreasing. Okay, from this to this, the pressure is decreasing. So and the temperature is also decreasing, and in this region, the pressure is increased, the temperature is decreasing. Okay, so but in throttling, the pressure is increased, the pressure is decreased, then we will go from this to this point, so there will be heating. Okay, so see the explanation. So in throttling, Joule Thomson coefficient del T by del P is equal to H. During throttling, the pressure decreases. So when mu J is positive in this region, okay, the temperature also decreases. Okay, as pressure decreases. So left to the inversion curve is cooling region, whereas when mu J is negative, the temperature increases, and right to the inversion curve is heating. So on the with the decreasing pressure, the temperature increases, and this is heating. So answer is first is cooling and second is heating. Third C option. Next, a large furnace can supply heat at a temperature of 1200 Kelvin at a steady rate of 30 to 100 kilowatt. The ambient temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Availability of this energy is A 0 kilowatt, B 800 kilowatt, C 1200 kilowatt, D 2400 kilowatt. So the availability of this energy can be determined can be determined by counting the maximum amount of work that can be obtained from this system. Okay, when the when this system is brought down to atmospheric condition, then we can get the maximum work done. Okay, so here the and for the reversible process, we know that T1 minus T2 by T1 is uh, efficiency, or the Carnot efficiency. Okay, is W by Q. Okay, so here T1 is 1200 Kelvin and T2 is 27 watt plus 200 is 300 Kelvin. Okay, and W is we have to calculate. Okay, that is the availability, and Q1 is 30 to 100 kilowatt. So putting these values, we can find out W, that is 2400 kilowatt. Answer is C. Okay. Next, for a system containing an ideal gas, the difference between Gibbs function and Helmholtz function. Option A depends on temperature only. B depends on temperature. Option A depends on pressure only. Option B depends on temperature only. Option C depends on both pressure and temperature. D is independent of both pressure and temperature. Gibbs function is given as G is equal to H minus Ts, and Helmholtz function is given as U minus Ts. So difference is H minus U, that is equal to PV. Now PV is for the ideal gas is MRT. So PV is the function of so G minus F is a function of P only. So answer is C. Okay, so G minus F will depend upon only temperature, because M and R are constant. Okay. Next, match items in group 1 with those in group 2. Group 1 P critical point, Q dry saturated vapor, R superheated vapor. Group 2 quality 1 2 Vf is equal to Vg. C P is more than P saturated. 4 T is less than T centimeters. Option are A, P is equal P1, Q2, R3, B, P1, Q3, R2, C, P2, Q1, R3, D, P1, Q1, R4. So at critical point, the specific volume of liquid and specific volume of vapor is same. Okay, so the critical point is defined as by this, and or at critical point the related rate of saturation is zero. Okay, so Bf is equal to Vt. So P is equal to 2. Okay, so answer will be C. Okay, the dry spot saturation vapor Q is equal to 1, the inner section is 1. Okay, for saturation vapor P is more than P. Okay, option answer is C. Next, consider steady flow of air. Cp is equal to 1005 joules per kg per Kelvin in an adiabatic passage. Air enters the passage at 100 kPa, 500 degree Kelvin, and a velocity of 150 meter per second, and exits the passage at 500 kPa, 500 Kelvin. Okay, assume air to be an ideal gas and neglect gravitational effects. Passage is option A diffuser. Velocity at the exit is approximately 49 meter per second. B diffuser, and velocity at exit is approximately 79 meter per second. Option C nozzle. The velocity at exit will be is approximately 179 meter per second. Option D nozzle, and velocity at exit is approximately 249 meter. So here that given that here it is given that the initial pressure is 500 kPa and temperature is 500 degree Kelvin, and velocity is 150 meters. And at exit the temperature is given. Okay. So by as there is no as a vessel is adiabatic. Okay. So no heat is being added externally. So energy at inlet should be equal to energy at outlet. So H1 is Cp into P1. Okay. So from the energy balance, H1 plus V1 square by 2, and is equal to H2 plus V2 square by 2. So H1 is 1005 into 500, and V1 is 150. Okay. And H2 is 1005 into 500. It should be 510. Okay. It should be 510. But temperature at exit is 510. Calculation are right. Okay. One 50 into 1 into 150 by 3. Okay, so it should be uh, the calculation is right. Okay, so it should be b square by 2, or v2 is 49, right? Here it should be 510. Okay, okay. So as the velocity is decreasing, so passage is decreasing. Okay. Next question. Common data question for 23 and 24. A reversible heat engine receives heat input at of 300 kilojoule and 200 kilojoule from two thermal reservoir at 100 Kelvin and 800 Kelvin respectively. The engine rejects heat Q2 two reservoirs at 300 Kelvin. Okay. The two questions are question number 26. The value of Q is option A 65 kilojoule, option B 165 kilojoule, option C 100 kilojoule, option D 265 kilojoule. Okay. Question number 24. Work delivered by the engine 35 kilojoule, 135 kilojoule, C 235 kilojoule, and D 335 kilojoule. Okay. So as the engine is reversible engine, so we have to satisfy the losses inequality. Okay, and heat is being added in from the two sources. Okay, at 300 and 300 kilojoule and 200 kilojoule at 1000 and 800 respectively. Okay, and heat is being rejected at 300 Kelvin. So from this we can find out, putting the values, we can find out Q3. Q3 is 165 kilojoule. So answer is option B. So work delivered by the engine. So work delivered by the engine is total heat input minus total heat output. Q1 plus Q2 minus Q3. Okay. So 300 plus 200 minus 165 is equal to answer is D. Next, the linked answer question 25 to 28 carry 2 marks each. The statement for linked answer questions 25 and 26. A piston cylinder arrangement contains an ideal mixture of 1 kilogram nitrogen and is 28 kilogram per kilomole gamma 1.4 and 2 kilogram of argon M 40 kilogram per kilomole gamma 1.667 at 100 kPa 300 Kelvin. The gas expands at constant pressure until the volume increases by 1 meter cube. Okay. The initial volume of the mixture is approximately A 2.14 meter cube, B 1.07 meter cube, C 4.25 meter cube, D 3.21 meter cube. Okay. Question 26. The heat added is approximately 145.81 kilojoule, B 97.21 kilojoule, C 291.65 kilojoule, D 218.72 kilojoule. Okay. So as the mass of the nitrogen is 1 kg, okay. So uh, number of kilomoles of nitrogen is 1 by 28 as molecular weight is 28. Okay, and similarly, number of moles of in argon into kg is 2 by 40. Okay, so total weight is 3 kg. Okay, so moles of the mixture. So in 1 kg of nitrogen, it is having this number of moles, and then 2 kg of this, we is having this. Okay, so in total 3 kg mixture, it will be having this number of moles per kg. Okay, okay. So this number of moles per kg, so molecular weight of the mixture will be 1 by molecular mole of mixture per kg. Okay, so it will be 35 kg per kilo mole. Okay, okay, 35 kg per kilo mole. Now total mass of the mixture is 3 kg. Okay. So total mass of the mixture is 3 kg. Okay, and the universal gas constant given in the beginning is 8.3154. Okay, so and molecular weight of the mixture is 35. Okay, so we can find out uh, the characteristic gas constant of the mixture. Okay, so that is Ru by molecular weight. Okay, so it will be 0.2375 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so this is R of mixture. Now, once we have found out R, we can use Pv is equal to MRT. Okay, now M is 3, R is 0.34 0.237 kilojoule or 237 joule, and T is temperature given, that is 300 degrees Celsius. Okay, 300 degrees Celsius is given. Okay, and P is 100 kg. And from this we can find out volume. That volume is 2.14. So this is the answer of first question. Where 2.14 meter cube. Okay. Now next we have to find out the heat added approximately. And to find out heat added, we have to find out CP mixture or CV mixture. Okay. So for nitrogen and for any gas, universal gas constant is this. Okay. And for nitrogen, CP molar minus CV molar will be this. Okay. For any gas it is this. And for CP molar for nitrogen, it is given that gamma is 1.4. So CP molar by CV molar is this. Okay. So we know the ratio, we know the difference. So we can calculate CP molar and CV molar. Okay. Similarly, for this is CV molar. Okay, and this is CP molar. Okay. Similarly, for argon, Ru is given, and the difference is same, and ratio is also given. That gamma for argon is also given in the question. Okay, and we can then calculate CV molar and CP molar. Okay. Now we have the CV for nitrogen and CV for organ. Okay, now we want now to carry out further calculation. We need to know CV mixture. Okay, CV mixture. So the CV mixture will be number of moles of N2, CV of N2, okay, molar, okay, number of moles of argon and CV argon molar, okay, divided by total number of moles, okay. So number of moles of N2 is total weight is in 1 kg, it is 1 by 28. Similarly for argon it is 2 by 40 and CV molar we have calculated and for nitrogen we have calculated. Okay, this is CV molar for nitrogen. Okay, this and CV molar uh, for argon we have calculated. Putting these values, we can find out CV mixture molar. Okay, now this is the molar CV. Okay, now to calculate the actual CV, okay, that we want to use, so this is the CV mixture molar divided by molecular weight of the mixture divided. So that weight is 35. So CV mixture comes out as 0.45579 kilojoule per kg. Okay, now using the first law, Q is equal to P V2 minus V1 plus M CV T2 minus T1. Okay, so we can uh, now it is now given that the process is constant pressure process. Okay, and so P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 T2 P1 V2 P2 V1 by V2 is equal to V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by P2. So from this we can calculate P2 and we can use P2 here. Okay. And V2 is also given. V2 is given. V2 is V2 we have calculated volume one gas system. V2 minus V1 is 1. V2 minus V1 is 1 because volume is increased by 1. Okay. So so V1 we have calculated. V here we have calculated 2.14 initial volume and our final volume will be 3.14. Okay. So using this here V1 as 2.14 and V2 as 3.14 and V2 minus V1 is 1. Okay. We can calculate 2 291.418 kilojoule. So answer is option C. 291.65 kilojoule approximately. Okay. Next, the statement for linked answer question 27 and 28. A rigid tank contains a mixture of 0.2 kg of saturated water vapor and 2 kg of air. M is 29 kilogram per kilomole. A molecular weight. At a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. The volume of the mixture is approximately 1.42 meter cube, B 2.41 meter cube, C 4.12 meter cube, D 0.412 meter cube. Okay. Uh, Question number 28. Pressure of the tank is approximately 89.4 kPa, B 98.4 kPa, C 48.9 kPa, D 148.9 kPa. Okay. So at temperature 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, as the mixture of air and saturated vapor is given. Okay. So at 50 degrees Celsius from the table given initially, this is the volume of from this all the property can be found out. This is the volume at 50 degrees Celsius. This is the 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. First thing. Okay. From this all the properties Vg, Vf, okay, can be found out. Okay. So uh, so as for the table, Vg is as the mixture is saturated in saturated condition, so Vg is 12.0318 meter cube per kilogram. Okay. So and mass of saturated vapor is 0.2 kg. Okay. So the volume of the saturated vapor will be mw into b 0.20 meter cube. Okay. So this saturated vapor will be present uh, in the whole tank. Okay, with partial pressure according to the steam table. Okay, okay. So this is also the volume of the tank because the it is not like that uh, the saturated vapor is placed at some distance and air is placed at this distance. They are they form a mixture. Okay, and to form a mixture, the volume of the two should be same. Okay, that is 2.4, and the volume of air is also 2.4, and volume of saturated vapor is also 2.4. Okay, so the total pressure is defined by sorry, partial pressure is defined by the pressure that a gas contains how much pressure in the same volume. Okay, so that is the partial pressure, and so the partial pressure of this vapor will be partial pressure according to this 50 degree Celsius will be okay this 12.349. Okay, 12.349. Okay, so now we use the specific humidity formula, that is omega is equal to as air is a mixture of as air is a mixture of this air is a mixture of air and water vapor. So we can use the formula of specific humidity, that is PV P minus PV. Okay, into 0.622. So PV is equal to PS, that is uh, 12.349 because it is in saturated condition. Okay, at very surface. So from this we can calculate omega. Now we have omega. Sorry. From this we can have PV and PS, and we have MW as 0.2 given and MA as 2.2 kg and MA as 2 kg. Okay. So from this we can calculate omega, and from this it is 0.2 by 2, that is 0.1. Okay. Now if we put 0.1 here, we can calculate P, that is the total pressure. Okay. So total pressure is the pressure of total pressure is pressure of air plus pressure of water vapor. Okay. So that is this 89.1597. So for the question number 27, answer is B, and for the question number 28, the answer is 889.4. Thanks. That's all.